Channel Studios here in London for your international news around the world in 5. Coronavirus has continued to spread across the world, with more than 7 million confirmed cases in 188 countries, despite many countries easing lockdown measures. The number of cases in the United States has now passed 2 million, and infections are still rising in 21 states, even as restrictions continue to be relaxed. Latin America has emerged as the new hotspot for COVID-19 that has killed more than 70,000 people across the region. In Brazil, which accounts for well over half of the deaths in South America, hospitals have been struggling to cope with the increase of deaths. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump has said he will hold his first re-election campaign rally for several months in the city of Tulsa in Oklahoma on the 19th of June, the same date that African Americans celebrate the end of slavery.
That's right.
The rallies are seen as vital for energizing his base, but were suspended due to the coronavirus outbreak in March. The Trump campaign, referring to the date of the rally, has said his Republican Party was proud of its role in winning the Civil War and ending slavery. Statues of Confederate leaders and the explorer Christopher Columbus have been torn down in protests across the US. It comes as pressure grows on authorities to remove monuments connected to slavery and colonialism. The civil action has been focused on monuments glorifying countries' imperialist pasts, which are increasingly seen as offensive in modern society. Statues linked to the empire and the slave trade have also been removed in Britain. However, one that was pushed into the harbour by protesters in Bristol a few days ago has been retrieved from the water. The statue of Edward Colston, who was a 17th century English slave trader, will be housed in a museum instead. Amazon has banned the police from using its controversial facial recognition software for a year. The announcement has come as activists have been voicing concern that facial recognition could lead to unjust arrests during demonstrations against police brutality, racial injustice, and the death of George Floyd. Facial recognition technology has long been criticized over potential bias, with studies showing it is more likely to wrongly identify the faces of black people than those of white people. A Norwegian court has sentenced a gunman to 21 years in prison with a minimum term of 14 years for killing his teenage stepsister and opening fire at a mosque. Philip Manshaus killed his stepsister in their family home and later explained it was because of her Asian origins. He then drove to a nearby mosque and fired several shots but hit no one before being overpowered by a 65-year-old member of the congregation who wrestled away his guns. The Guinean president Alpha Condé has declared he is fit and well and would bury many of his enemies, as rumours persisted that his health was deteriorating. Rumours have been circulating widely this week that the 82-year-old, one of Africa's oldest leaders, was being hospitalised. Yet Condé has said he was making fewer public appearances and has stopped receiving visitors on the advice of his doctors due to the coronavirus pandemic. Germany's foreign minister has called for critical dialogue between Israel and the Palestinians as he visited Jordan. Foreign Minister Heiko Maas travelled to Jordan from Israel, where he expressed concern about Israel's plans to annex parts of the occupied West Bank, but avoided threatening sanctions. The visit by Maas to Israel and Jordan has come a month before Berlin assumes the European Union presidency, a role which will give Germany great influence in guiding the EU. 300 Venezuelan migrants in limbo in Colombia have finally been allowed to cross the border home amid restrictions at the shared frontier to stop the spread of COVID-19. Colombia has been a lifeline for many Venezuelans fleeing economic collapse back home, but the thousands who once sought a better life in Colombia are now seeking to return to their country amid the uncertainty of the pandemic. According to Colombian migration, between March and May, over 68,000 Venezuelans returned home. And finally, the streets of the Spanish capital Madrid have dressed up in La Liga colours as competitive football returned on Thursday after a 3-month pause. Shirts of Spanish top-tier football clubs hung over a popular shopping street in central Madrid as part of an initiative by the local government aimed at creating anticipation as the league begins in empty stadiums with fans unable to attend. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.